Race War 2020. They're probably checking some drag race. Yeah. The back of the other one is open.
Yeah, eventually look at.
What's up, everybody? This week on Elvis Car Reviews, we're doing a built versus bought. What's the best way to spend $25,000? Well, you could either buy a performance pack Mustang, newer model 2015, or you could buy an older model like this 2007 here and put in the rest of the money into mods. This 2007 here's got a Vortex supercharger. It's cammed. We've got a full Flowmaster exhaust. We've got long tube headers, and the thing straight up just gets and goes. On the other hand, we've got a 2015 performance pack, 400 plus horsepower, 93 tuned, Roush intake, Roush exhaust. I've driven this car personally, and it is a blast to drive. It is a complete monster. So let's see how they do. Put them against each other, one-on-one. Let's go.
I have Goodyear Eagle F1 tires that really do not hook. They do not hook at all. But we're gonna try next this S550 Mustang, a 5.0. It just have a tune, nothing else. So this is what we're gonna race next. Hopefully I have better luck with this car. Like I said, this time I would try to launch it at 3,000 RPM. If I spin, I'll just try to control it, not to go into the wall. But yeah, that will be the goal. So this is the car we are racing next. As you can see, it was a pretty good turnout. Look at all the cars that showed up, and we even have a GT500 here, looking like Stang mode GT500, but it's not Stang mode, obviously. I'm not trying to make an excuse for losing, guys, but just to relate you the fact, it was a drag race, and I launched at 3,000 RPM. I missed second gear. I spun the entire time, and when I finally got some grip, the Mustang was already gone. My own fault for going to a racing event with a no prep tires. I'm gonna take the L on this one. And after this, we decided to do a 30 roll, and this is what happened next. not trying to make another excuse, guys, but I miss fourth gear. That's where you see the orange GT fly by. Something to know about this car: this is my very first time racing it ever. 5-speed manual. It has a short throw shifter and a 410 gear. So I'm still getting used to the car, still trying to figure out how it works, and hopefully I will get better in time. But I'm gonna take the L for this one as well. My own fault for bringing unprepped tires. Let's talk about what you get for $25,000. Well, I mean, you can get a fully loaded S550 with all the goodies already in the cars. As you can see, this car is fully loaded. You have leather seats, 6-speed, you have navigation, you have everything pretty much. I mean, and it feels very, very recent. You know, it's a S550 body style, and it's very, very recent. So this is the downside of going with a built or building a S197. You do get ancient, now I say ancient technology. You have the interior. They look like a kitchen, pretty much, with plastic and metal. And yeah, this car just feels old, you know? Now, let's recap. For $25,000, you can get a stock 2015-2016 Ford Mustang GT with a 5-liter Coyote engine and fully loaded. Or that makes 435 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Or you can buy a used S197 and put the rest of the money to modify it. What are the pros? Well, if you modify S197, you drop that kind of money on it. Like my car, it's making 480 wheel horsepower. It was making 500, but we had to down it to 480 because that was safe for the engine. The downside about it is 400 or 500 wheel horsepower is the max the 4.6 will take before altering the internal component. So at the end of the day, if you really want to make more power long term, the S550 is the best way for you to do it. But if you want power now, $25,000 will get you a pretty fast S197. Don't get tricked by the race you just saw into believing that this ProCharge S197 is slow. It's not. The car just had wrong tires and it couldn't hook. I mean, despite how hard I tried to launch it or how slow I tried to launch it couldn't hook. So we will run this again and just order some drag radials and you will actually see the difference. So, in conclusion, what's the best way to spend $25,000 on a Mustang? Is it to buy a used 2015-2016 Mustang GT with a little bit of mile on it, 6-speed manual, fully loaded, bone stock, or a S197 and use the rest of the money to build it? Like I said, if you need power now and all you have is $25,000, then it makes sense to buy S197. But keep in mind that these 4.6 engine in the S197 cannot take much power without seriously altering the engine component, and it might end up costing you twice, even 3 times what you originally paid for it. If your long-term goal is to make more and more power, then it makes sense to get a S550 now, and when you can afford the mods, you will then mod it, because the S550 can take a lot of abuse. I mean, you can make up to 900 horsepower with the stock bottom. I mean, it is impressive. So if you want power now, go with the S197. I mean, it's pretty much one of the cheapest way to get 400, 500 wheel horsepower for 25 grand. If you want more power down the road, much better technology, newer look, a car that will look decent in car shows and stuff like that, you go with the S550 because it's newer, for the simple reason. I'm not saying that the S197 look worse than the S550, but when it comes to looks, they are all subjective. It pretty much depends on who's looking. So there you have it. But again, it's up to you to draw your own conclusion based on the information you received today. If you want power now, S197. If you want power later, S550. And a stock S550 is not a slow car at all. With just a tune, I mean, these S550 are monsters. So if you think you will be happy with that, because one other fact, guys, the S550 bone stock makes 435 horsepower, about 390 to the wheels, which is not bad. If you tune and you have it at like 410 to the wheels, which you will take most car on the streets, so don't neglect that fact. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you are stopping by for the first time, do not forget to subscribe. By the way, do not mind the purple Challenger in the background. Thank you, and see you in the next upload.